Class, in this example, we're going to create a simple procedure in RAPTOR. And before we start, just understand that a procedure is a series of instructions with symbols with a start and an end, just like we have in main. But what makes it different is that we can pass values to it. We can give it some values, some numbers, for example, to work with, and it can also return a value back to the main program. So it's called a subroutine or a function in other programming languages. In RAPTOR it's called a procedure, and we're going to make one. To do it, we're going to make a procedure that's going to calculate and return the area of a circle. This will be a pretty simple one. To do it, you right-click on Main, select Add Procedure, and that will give you a dialog box, which is somewhat complicated, but the first thing that you have to do with it is select a procedure name. Now, since this is going to calculate the area of a circle, I'm going to call it Circle Area. And now we have to specify the parameters that this particular procedure is going to both use as inputs and also output. Well, I want an input, so I'm going to leave this checked. I want an input of radius. And I want one more, which would be the area, but it's not going to be input, it will be output. And that's all I need. I don't need any of these, so I'll just leave these blank. So this procedure is going to take the radius as a parameter, use it, as we'll see in a minute, and output the area. And this procedure is called Circle Area. When I click on OK, you'll see that we get a new tab created with a new start and a new end. And you'll notice that in the start, you've got in radius, indicating that radius will be the input, and out area, indicating that area will be the output. So let's code it. What we want, in this case, is just a simple assignment. I'm going to have to save this now, and I'll save it as Circle Area. You should always use names that relate to the function of your application that you're writing. Okay, so all I want here now is to code this so that I can calculate and get the area from the radius. So I'll set the area to be pi 3.1416 multiplied by the radius squared. Area of a circle is pi times radius squared, pi r squared. Well, we can make that pi times radius times radius, which is the same thing as radius squared. That's all we need. That's all we need in this procedure. Now, let's go back to main and let's use it. If I go back to main, to use a procedure, I have to call it. We call it by name. So I need a call symbol. We'll insert that. I'll right-click on it. Pardon me, I'll double-click it. And when I double-click it, to get the dialog box for the call symbol, we have to enter a procedure call. Well, our procedure is called Circle Area. So that's what we'll do. We'll call Circle Area by name, and you'll notice that when we use it, we get a little bit of help down here reminding us how we have to use it. We have to pass it the radius, and we have to name the variable that we're going to get as output. Well, I'll make this one very simple. I'll give it an actual literal value of 10 as the radius, and we'll call the output area, since that's what we're finding. Okay, so that should run our circle area. As soon as this program main gets to the call symbol here, it's going to jump to this code here to find out what to do. Now, of course, to see if this works, I need to output the result. So I'm going to select an output symbol, and we'll code that to display the area result. The area is concatenate and our variable area. Let's give that a try. Let's see if it works okay. So I'll run this program. You'll notice there's the output, and that is the correct result. 314.16 would be the area. Now, did you notice as this ran, when the program got to the call, it switched to the circle area procedure to find out what to do, to find out what symbols to run. I'm just going to run it again to show you that. We run this again. Now it pops into the procedure. Now it's back out of the procedure and outputs the area. Procedures. Once you have a procedure written, you can use it over and over. For example, I'm just going to copy these two symbols and I'll paste them in here. And I'll just modify this slightly. Instead of using 10 as the area, I'll try, say, 25, pardon me, as the radius. And we'll run this whole thing again into the procedure, back into the procedure for the second time, and there's our output. We got 2 lines of output this time. Okay, hope that helps. That's procedures. They're a little bit tricky, but very valuable. And in other programming languages, these are used all the time. They're called functions or subroutines. Good luck.